Well, as we enter Memorial Day weekend, we are going code red tonight for Sunday. We got a chance for strong to severe storms. We're going to be watching very closely as we expect damaging winds, large hail potentially, and the risk of an isolated tornado.
We do want to show you a live look now from our Eco Plumber Sky Cam over the Gem City. A beautiful day out there, but we do want to send it right over to Chief Meteorologist Natalie Walters. Now, Natalie, you've been watching this threat now for several days.
Yeah, we've been really having our eye on Sunday in particular for the risk for some strong to severe storms. Of course, when you're a little early out, 5 days out from an event, you could kind of look at the trends, what potentially could be there as far as the ingredients. And then now that we're closer in, things are lining up just a little bit better to show us that we do have a risk for severe storms. There are some uncertainties still, but for right now, we do have the risk for some damaging winds, large hail. There is a tornado risk, and localized flooding could be a concern with these storms late into the day on Sunday as well. So that's what we'll be tracking. But talking about what's going on right now, because we do have a shower or thunderstorm actually that is just now in Preble County north of Dayton. So a little light show north of Dayton right now, a heavier downpour. But these are weakening as they make their way eastward. Some showers over the Greenville area too. There is our risk for our Sunday. Level 2 threat for much of the Miami Valley. Level 3 threat further to the southwest. Would not be surprised to see some changes as we head into the weekend. We'll have another update coming in overnight, so we could potentially see an upgrade for some of us. So we'll be watching this very closely. I'm going to time out these storms for you coming up in just a bit.
We now know the Dayton police officer hospitalized after this crash on West 3rd Street is back home tonight. Now this was the scene yesterday. Police tell us the cruiser was driving on West 3rd when another vehicle turned left in front of the cruiser, causing the crash. The other driver refused medics. DPD's Traffic Services Unit is still investigating.
Well, AAA is now expecting a record high. 38.4 million people are going to travel by car this Memorial Day weekend, so expect some busy highways. Kasha Hancock talked to OSHP and AAA about what they're doing to make things run smoothly. Kasha?
Organizations say it's important for people to drive smart, putting away the distractions and making sure their vehicle is good to go. AAA tells me everyone plays a role in keeping the people in your car safe.
And then everyone in the vehicle should be buckling their seatbelt. We always say every seat, every time, because anything that's not secured, whether it's a person, a package, or even a pet, could become a projectile in the event of a crash.
This Memorial Day weekend, AAA and the Ohio State Highway Patrol are reminding drivers of the importance of practicing road safety. Sergeant Tyler Ross with OSHP says they'll have increased patrols out on our roadways to keep everyone safe.
So we have a reporting period that started today at just after midnight at 12:01 a.m. and it's going to go till Monday evening at 11:59 p.m. so that we're going to be highly visible and highly active.
OSHP tells me they will be monitoring major interstates, state routes, and main streets in cities and townships across the Miami Valley. Kara Hitchens with AAA encourages drivers to have everything ready to go before you step on the gas.
Before you take off, if you're using a GPS system, if you're listening to music, get all that set up before you take off.
This holiday weekend, OSHP wants to see a decrease in the number of crashes and deaths compared to last year.
So if we look at the Memorial Day period last year, there was 24 fatal crashes with 26 people killed. And of those, 18 crashes and 19 fatalities were OVI related.
Sergeant Ross says with this 4-day reporting period, it allows them to serve people better.
By us being out there, we're going to be a lot more available, and that will expedite our response time. So that way, we can get out there and try to mitigate that concern as quickly as possible.
If you get into a crash or see one as you're traveling this weekend, you're asked to call pound 677 or 911. Back to you.
Gas prices are high yet again as people are hitting the roads this weekend. Here's a live look at AAA's gas price tracker right now. You can see the current national average sitting at $3.60 a gallon. A year ago, the average was $3.65. Here in Ohio, the current average is $3.54, where a year ago, the average was $3.50.
Dayton Police and Combined Agency OVI Task Force. They are conducting 2 more sobriety checkpoints. They go for another 25 minutes or so. They're going to be held at these 2 locations, the corner of Stanley Avenue and Troy Street, and near the intersection of South Smithville and Linden Avenue. The task force says these checkpoints help stop impaired driving and aid in apprehending offenders.
Well, whether you're planning
Today marks 2 years since the deadly school shooting at Robb Elementary in Uvalde, Texas. Community members honored the 21 victims today with several events and a vigil. The families of the victims reached a $2 million settlement with the city just days ahead of the anniversary. The father of one of those children killed, speaking with reporters tonight.
But it doesn't matter to me. The money, any of that, it doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is that we do all we can to keep Uzziah's memory alive and to get justice and accountability from every level that failed us.
But the families are still fighting for more. A lawsuit Wednesday aimed at nearly 100 officers with the state.
A live look now from our Eco Plumber Sky Cam over the city of Dayton. Let's send it over to Chief Meteorologist Natalie Walters.
Well, code red weather alert for our Sunday. We are tracking the potential for severe storms across the Miami Valley. Still some uncertainties. We're still a little ways out from the actual event. The storm's still making its way in, so we have some time to see some changes in the forecast. But right now, if all ingredients line up late into the day on Sunday, we do have the risk for severe storms, including the potential for damaging wind gusts. That would be the main concern. Some large hail, localized flooding. Certainly a threat with this too, with some heavier rain in the forecast. And then we do have the risk for tornadoes out of this too. Notice here, level 3 threat further to our southwest, and it does look like that's where the greatest risk will be, but I would not be surprised if we see maybe a shift in this just a little bit more eastward. So we'll get another update in tonight, and we'll be sure to keep you posted on how this system really begins to develop. But right now we do have some showers around. A little thunderstorm that was now in Preble into Darke County, weakening, and we'll continue to see a stray shower through the rest of this evening as this system continues to weaken off to the east. But heading into our Sunday, we will track a better chance for some storms. Even could see a few thunderstorms tomorrow, mainly into the afternoon. Highs in the 80s, spot shower or storm that makes its way off to the east. But by our Sunday, we'll watch a line earlier into the day. This could pose a low end severe risk with mainly damaging winds, but it's late into the evening, likely Sunday night, we'll see the potential for those stronger to severe storms with all modes possible. This is indicating potentially a line of storms after midnight or so. So of course, this is just one model, but something that we'll have to watch out for this weekend. So have a way to get those weather alerts, and we'll be keeping you posted on air and online.
Tonight, President Biden's son Hunter in court today for the last hearing before he stands trial in a federal gun charges in Delaware. Now, Hunter Biden is charged with lying about his drug use back in 2018 to buy and own a gun for less than 2 weeks. Hunter openly admitted to struggling with addiction at the time. His lawyers argue he didn't break any law and that the case is too politically motivated. Jury selection is set to begin June 3rd.
Prosecutors are now appealing a ruling in the Georgia election interference case. Fulton County DA Fannie Willis is appealing a judge's decision to dismiss 6 counts in the case, which accuses former President Donald Trump and 18 others of conspiring to overturn the presidential election results in that state. Now, Trump has pleaded not guilty to all charges, is pushing for Willis to be disqualified from the case.
Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito is under scrutiny after photos show flags carried by January 6th Capitol rioters are being flown outside his homes. One is an upside-down American flag outside his Virginia home. The second is the Appeal to Heaven flag at his second home in New Jersey. Alito did comment on the upside-down American flag, saying it was raised by his wife in a neighborly dispute, but did not comment on the second flag. Democrats want Alito to recuse himself from any elections cases, but Republicans urge caution.
In America, no one is above the law. That includes the Supreme Court. That includes Samuel Alito.
I don't know what happened in the neighborhood. I don't think he should be recused, but I don't think it's, it creates a bad image, and, that's all I need to.
This controversy comes just weeks away from the Supreme Court issuing 2 decisions on former President Trump's efforts to overturn the 2020 election, including the January 6th Capitol riots.
The United Nations top court ordering an unlikely request to Israel to immediately stop all of its military operations in Rafah.
Israel must immediately halt its military offensive and any other action in the Rafah governorate which may inflict on the Palestinian group in Gaza conditions of life that could bring about its physical destruction in whole or in part.
The International Court of Justice says the humanitarian situation in Rafah is disastrous and too many civilians are dying of starvation. Ahead of the vote, a spokesperson with the Israeli government said, quote, No power on earth will stop Israel from protecting its citizens and going after Hamas in Gaza. In recognition of National Missing Children Day, Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost releasing a new report. We're going to take a look at those numbers after the break.
You're watching Dayton 24/7 now. Tomorrow is National Missing Children's Day, and tonight we're taking a look at the 2023's Missing Children Report released by Attorney General Dave Yost. In our state, more than 17,400 children were reported missing, 1,900 more than in 2022. In our area alone, Montgomery County had the highest number of missing children with nearly 2,700. Thankfully, though, 98% of those kids were found safe, but 5 children died and more than 300 remain missing. In a statement, Yost says in part, quote, although we celebrate a 98% reunification rate, one missing child is one too many. A South Carolina man will now spend more than 2 decades behind bars after murdering a Dayton man. Prosecutors say 37-year-old DeMar Cobb shot and killed 42-year-old Grayler Russell back in July of last year. Now, an investigation revealed Russell came to repossess a vehicle at an apartment complex on Lake Ridge Court. That's when Cobb confronted him, shot him several times before running away. Cobb was found guilty of several charges, including murder, was sentenced to 24 years to life.
Berths in the high school softball state tournament being decided this evening. 5 area teams involved in regional finals, including a back-and-forth game in Division 4. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
the Dayton 24/7 Now News app, brought to you by the Jeff Schmidt Auto Group.
Well, tracking the potential for severe storms this weekend, mainly for our Sunday time frame. Now, for our Saturday, most of the day is going to be dry. Can't rule out a shower or thunderstorm, especially for the afternoon into the evening. We have a front making its way in. Still a pretty warm day on Saturday, too, with temperatures that will be in the lower 80s. For our Sunday, especially later into the day, we'll be tracking the potential for those stronger to severe storms. So, of course, there are still a few uncertainties heading into the second half of the day on Sunday as far as are all of those ingredients going to line up this weekend for those storms to develop. But as of right now, we want to be weather aware, have a way to receive those weather alerts, especially late into the day on Sunday, as we do have that severe potential for damaging winds, large hail. There is a tornado risk out of this too, so we are watching Sunday very closely. We'll be keeping you posted throughout the weekend with the latest. As far as our extended forecast goes, there you can see our storm threat on Sunday, showers or maybe a thunderstorm early into the day on Monday, followed by much cooler weather back into the 70s by the middle of next week.
Good evening, I'm Matt Digby with a look at sports. As has been documented for the Cincinnati Reds, it has been a month of May to forget instead of a month to remember. But with still a week to go before June, it's not too late to turn the season around, especially if they start this weekend with the win over the Dodgers. Well, a Friday night home game, that means the City Connect jerseys back at Great American Ballpark. Bottom of the first, Spencer Steer, deep fly ball to left center. It just clears the wall for a 3-run homer, and the Reds are on the board first, leading 3-0. Top of the second, though, 2 on for Chris Taylor. He takes a fly ball that will land in center field. Both runners will score, no problem, and the Dodgers are on the board. Then they would tie the game. Still in the second inning, Shohei Ohtani will come to the plate. He directs a grounder up the middle to second. The fielder's choice, allowing the visitors to get the lead. LA eventually posting 5 in that frame. But in the bottom of the fifth, Stuart Fairchild starts a rally with a fly ball down the left field line. It will stay fair just. The Reds pull within 1. They tie the game on a bases loaded hit by pitch. And then Jonathan India with a line drive to left for a grand slam. Reds go on to win 9-6 the final. And tomorrow's game will also be an evening start. You can watch it over on Fox 45. Dayton Dragons going for a 3rd straight win on the road at Quad Cities. This game finishing just about 10 minutes ago. But indeed, the Dragons now on a 3-game win streak. Sal Stewart with a first-inning home run for the Dragons. He would also score again in the 3rd. This series continues tomorrow and Sunday, and then Dayton goes to the Beloit Sky Carp for 6 games in Wisconsin. Wright State baseball with more games in the Horizon League tournament today, but a tough Friday for the Raiders. They fell behind early to Northern Kentucky. The Norse holding off a 9th-inning rally attempt. Then in an elimination game, Youngstown State getting the better of the Raiders. So an earlier than expected ending to Wright State's season. Northern Kentucky and Youngstown State meet tomorrow in the championship round. High school softball regional finals taking place today. An entertaining game at Northmont for the Region 16 championship. Minster and Tri-Village trading the lead in the middle innings, but the Wildcats taking the lead in the 6th inning, and they would go on to win 5-3. It's their first regional title since 2014, and they advance to the Division IV state semifinals next week. The Wildcats acknowledging that while winning regionals is an accomplishment in itself, they know the season still continues into next week.
We've always had so much talent for it, but it's always been one of those things that I think we get in our own head. So accomplishing it our senior year, there's no better feeling. Throughout my 4 years, we've won MAC 3 times. Our year's already on the, our fence in the outfield, but it's such an excitement to be able to add regionals to that one.
Right before tournament started, we had a 6-day break. Then we had some weather issues, a 6-day break. So we're going to use it to just relax, enjoy the moment, but we're not there to be spectators. We're there to make some noise, and we're going to go at it just like we always do.
And Minster not the only area team headed to Akron next week. Kenton Ridge is the Region 8 champion, a 6-2 win over Granville. Centerville and Miami East both finishing as regional runner-up. So the Wildcats